FM 94, The Dark. It is that time again. It's time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. And in studio tonight, we have the band Modern Mimes. And I always love doing the in-studio things because I get to actually see their faces, too. So that's the cool thing. First of all, thanks for joining us. We got Ernesto, we got Justin, we got Audie. And Audie and I actually had a chance to talk. I just looked back. It was on November 6th of 2019. So about 4 months ago, we had a chance to talk on the phone and get to know a little bit more about the band. But how are you guys doing? Welcome to Minnesota. How has Minnesota been treating you here today?
So far it's been great. It's a little cold, but we like it. Midwest is always fun.
Yeah, now, obviously, you guys are from Florida. Let's get the backstory a little bit. I guess I'm going to start with Ernesto, since I had a chance to talk with Audie before. We'll get the real story now here. So, tell us about Modern Mimes.
So we started off as a duo, Audie and I, and we are from Fort Lauderdale. And we incorporated our new drummer, Justin, here. He actually recorded drums on the first album there. And he's from New Orleans, so it's been kind of like a cool, new, fresh vibe with the band and the sound. And playing live with him has been great. And we're happy to have him. And we're happy to be here, too. So,
add to that, Audie? Did you do a great job of that?
Yeah, I think he summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm okay, right? Could be better, could be worse.
Well, we and I don't know if it's a secret or not, but Audie did tell us you and her are married.
Yep, we are.
So we asked some of those married questions and that, and now you have Justin on board here too. Yes. So let me ask Justin these questions.
Go for it, man. Yeah, I can't wait.
How is it hanging out with these two?
Oh, it's excellent. It's. I mean, Ernesto and I we go back probably about 10 years or so. We were previously in a band together. And during that time, I actually met Audie before they were married. But it's great, man. It's we all get along really well. The chemistry of writing and performing is excellent. Plus, they've nicknamed me Dr. Phil for the drives.
Okay.
Totally. I'm kidding.
That's funny. I actually didn't know that. I was going to say that's cool, but now we will.
Well, we are after hours at night, so we can maybe take those calls, I guess, if we had to, right?
Let's take the
Yeah, give them my cell phone number. That way I can give relationship advice as well. So, Justin Perez, no, I'm not giving my number out on the air.
Justin Perez, PhD in some kind of something that helps people.
All kinds of stuff.
Is this the first time you guys have been to Minnesota?
Yeah,
I believe
my
so.
First time.
Yeah, we have passed through here, but we've never actually been. So, but it's been great so far, man.
Okay,
it really has.
So let me ask you this question. I'll go with Audie. And what do you hear about Minnesota? First of all, the people, and then secondly, the music scene.
The people, I feel like the accent is something I hear a lot about.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the most that we hear about.
Yeah, they do some pretty good
impressions. But I'm trying to get some new information from Minnesota and Minnesaudians.
That's mainly me, by the way.
What's the food like here? Like, what's the thing that you guys are known for? That's what I've been wondering this whole
brats.
time.
Well, that'd probably be Wisconsin, brats.
Oh,
yeah.
This is kind of more of a meat and potato kind of thing around here.
That's what I figured. Yeah,
it's more hardy because obviously 6 months of the year it's cold.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys are actually lucky because a year ago at this time, we were, I think, at 4 below for our high, and that was when we had their polar vortex come through a year ago.
Yeah,
they were talking about that.
30-some below.
That,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, so it's a lot of times those hardy foods. And then, over the summertime, I don't think anybody has any food. They just consume.
Right. Liquid diets, right?
A few of those things, yeah, exactly.
I get it.
There's no way. I need calories, man. I need calories. I mean, I'm already about to blow away in the wind as it is. So.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, obviously you two starting out and then having Justin to the band. How has that really helped the band out now?
Man, honestly, it's given our live sound a big push in the more of like an organic feel. We were, as some people may know, we have kind of like an electronic and rock background, and playing live with electronic drums is cool and all. But now that we have Justin, the live performance and the live sound and the overall feel has pushed it up to about 100 now. You know what I mean? Whereas like playing with the electronic drums, it's like I said, it's cool, but it's not the same. It's definitely got more of a drive, more of a punch, so to speak.
That was, and when I talked to Audie before, we kind of were talking about styles, a little bit of what you play, and also then who kind of writes the stuff. Who does the writing, I guess, of your songs?
So it's I always tell people that the way we write music is we fight and we fight and we fight, and then a song comes out. So that's like the simplified version. So basically, what to get in a little more in depth, I will either write something on guitar or bass, and she'll kind of just come in and say, "Hey, that's cool, let's work on that," or she'll have some stuff already written and some lyrics and stuff, and then we'll work around that. And now lately, we've been sending Justin stuff back and forth, and demoing things, and and that's pretty much where it's kind of taken over from where we were before.
Hence the Dr. Phil.
That's right. That's right. Dr. Phil.
That's only about a third of the time.
In looking at the process of making music, it goes all ways. I mean, obviously, a lot of it's emotion, and
Absolutely.
I think a lot of the songs that you had mentioned, Audie, to me were some emotion songs, correct? From some of the stuff that
absolutely.
you've done in the past. Where do you get your inspiration from? I guess for some of the music.
So I get my inspiration from all over, and it's definitely not something that I ever force. I just kind of wait till it comes to me. It's not like, oh, I'm going to write a song today. It's just kind of, whenever it hits me, and
I
whenever
call it the spirit of music.
Yeah,
'Cause that
basically.
happens to me a lot.
Basically, I like to think of myself as like a vessel where these messages can flow through. And so a lot of inspiration comes from personal experiences and observations, and actually a lot comes from dreams.
That's right. I do remember you telling me that. Nightmares too, then?
Yeah, actually, I say dreams, but they're mostly nightmares.
That's mostly what it is.
They're kind of like the end of the world type of, nightmares more than dreams.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I get to be the first one to know about the horrible nightmares. And sometimes I'm even in some of those.
Yeah.
So if she's ever mad at me throughout the day and I don't know why, it's because she had a bad dream about me.
Yeah, I just had one not too long ago, and I woke him up. And I'm like, I had a bad dream.
Yeah, she
About
woke me
the
up at like 4 in the
coronavirus.
morning. Yeah, at 4 in the morning, she's like, I had a bad dream. I'm like, I'm going back to sleep.
So that'll be a new song coming up then.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to write it here at this very station.
That's
Get
nice.
off the air.
Now, you guys are going out on a small tour right now. You've got also brought along another band, Anything But Human, which we're going to get a chance to talk with tomorrow night on the airwaves. But you guys going on a little, I guess it's called the Illusion Tour. Is that what it
Illusions
is?
Tour,
Okay.
Yep.
And you're making a stop, obviously, in Mankato coming up on Friday night. And then Saturday night, they have the event over in Eau Claire. Do you guys know about that event over there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be a killer event. It's called Night for the Fight. It's at the Metropolis Resort Center. Yep. And, man, we're really looking forward to that. And we're looking forward to Friday, too. It's going to be my first time, actually our first time playing Minnesota.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
man.
Now, I know you've said you wanted to play some songs for us here on the airwaves tonight, and so I know we've played Stare before, and I think you're going to do an acoustic cover of that for us, aren't you?
Absolutely.
So let's do that. Once again, we're talking with Modern Mimes, and they are once again performing on Friday night in Mankato at the What's Up Lounge, and then on Saturday for that event over in Eau Claire. You can go to all the details on their Facebook page. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. But here is that acoustic version that we've been playing, their main version here. I believe this song was in the top 52 on the Foundations chart, if I'm correct on that.
Yep, top 20 foundations
Yeah.
and top 30 on the indicator chart.
Absolutely, which is a great thing for a band because
yeah.
you got to start somewhere.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We're very, very happy with that.
So once again, that top 20 song done right here in studio. Here's Modern Mimes with Stare.
Do your eyes see the sun, see the light? But every day we meet at spade at midnight. So if I travel, we agree to stay alive. The universe is never worse if you lie, but I won't be there if you don't play fair. sky tonight. Give it your best to stay bright. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your all to stay bright. To the miles of broken smiles we reconcile. I pull you in, you push away. It's fragile, but I won't repent if you refuse to bend tonight. You'll be last in line. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your best to stay bright. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your all to stay bright. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your best to stay bright. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your all to stay bright. I give it all, not holding back. You have my heart, all of it. It pulls me in, tearing my soul. I can't let go, I can't let go. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your all to stay bright. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your best to stay bright. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your all to stay bright. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your best to stay right. Deadlines in the sky tonight. Give it your all to stay bright.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Always gives me chills when bands come in and do an acoustic version. And, have you done a lot of the acoustic stuff before, or is it something that's becoming new for you?
This is very new. I mean, I've done it in the past many times, but with this particular project, yeah, this is still fairly new, the acoustic stuff. In fact, we didn't even know we were going to be doing acoustic versions up until literally the day before we left to do these radio interviews. So we said, you know what, let's get down and dirty and practice and make sure it comes out good,
Yeah, no. Well, it came out great. And the thing is that I think when you get all the instruments stripped away and it's just what's really the authentic part of the singing and the playing of what you guys have, I mean, it really shows maybe not so much I guess the word I'm looking for, it shows the writing ability and just the emotion of the song.
Right.
Because sometimes it gets lost in like screaming guitars and banging drums and all that kind of stuff.
No, I get it. Very bare bones.
So when you strip it down, it really it hits, and that song for some reason just hits, and it obviously was a hit. So for you guys,
Thank you.
Which is awesome. That's a big song. So you're following off of that song now, and what I guess is on the horizon for Modern Mimes after a song that's hit the top 50, the top 20, and obviously you'd like to get there again.
Yeah. And it's something that we definitely don't want to force either. Like, oh, let's create a radio commercial song. Like, just, we've come up with a bunch of songs that we're working on our next album, which is going to be called Portals. And we were thinking at first that we were going to take more of an alternative approach with it, and then when we started writing, there was a lot of heavier songs that were coming out, so we were like, hey, you know what, let's just go with it, and then we'll go from there afterwards.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing, I mean, your spectrum of range is all over the place. I mean, you can be soft and you can be hard.
That's right. That's right. And it's funny because we didn't really set out to do that. It's just something that kind of happened. You know what I mean? So, and it's funny because a lot of people it's hard to categorize our style and our sound. So we do what we want to do.
Well, and that's the thing, because you get pigeonholed in what kind of genre you are.
Right.
And so then even like a radio guy like myself goes, okay, is that going to resonate to my audience or not?
Right.
And unfortunately, I'm sure there's been a lot of doors that have closed because you don't fit the bill of A, B, C, and D. But it's the ones that are willing to take the chance. And music is up for interpretation of what you think.
For sure.
So one day you're feeling this way, and the next day that same song is the exact same song, but you have a different feeling, so you feel it differently.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we approach music in a very human way, obviously. But, we're not always going to be heavy metal, or we're not always going to be like this, because there's just such a wide range of emotions, and we like to hit upon each one of those.
You'd mentioned, obviously, you were in a band in the past, and we had talked about that. And Audie, I don't know if I asked the question before. Were you in any other band in the past, or is this something you jumped on? You were, okay.
Yeah. I had played in a band for a bit, and I also did solo stuff like acoustic.
Okay.
I play guitar as well. So.
Gotcha. So, I mean, I guess when I asked that question, do you like the band setting then?
Oh, yeah.
You do? Mm-hmm. Okay, absolutely. Good.
Yeah, it just brings a whole new element into it. And when I first started playing with Ernesto, I mean, granted, we knew each other for a long time, and we both played in separate bands before. But it wasn't until we started playing together that I was like, aha, this is my missing piece that I was looking for all this time. So
right. What is the state of music today, I guess? What through your minds? That's a question I always ask bands, and it's a wide open question.
Oh yeah.
But let's maybe focus it down more to the rock side of things. Where do you feel the state of rock is today?
You know what? I still feel like there's a lot to give in rock music, and by no means is it dead. Because I hear that a lot, especially down in Miami, where we're from, where it's a lot of different types of music. It's a lot of Latin music, a lot of hip hop.
Yes.
And people, have kind of, like I said, they've kind of strayed away from that a little bit. But being here in the Midwest, I'm seeing that it's still very much alive and well and kicking. So, as far as for rock music, I think there's still a lot to give, a lot of love to give. You know what I mean?
So I see Ernesto and this is maybe going to buy a cabin up here. So in the summertime, you can be up here.
I'd love to, man. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll live here now. I'll just build bonfires every day.
Well, I'm just saying, it's one of those things where you kind of have to resonate to where your audience is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like you were saying, the music down there maybe isn't as open as they are up here with your sound.
Yeah, it can be a little cliquey at points. So.
So what's your feeling on the state, I guess, of music and the state of, I guess, rock?
I think Ernesto summed that up pretty well. I would agree with what he said. And, you just got to keep playing from your heart. And I think more than anything, people will respond to that. And when you're completely authentic, and that's what we do, we're just completely authentic in our music, and I think that will reach the right people whenever they hear it.
Justin?
I'm going to touch on just a slightly different subject on the matter, is the state that, it's not like years ago when, if signed bands, they were, or even DIY bands, if you were signed to a label would invest tons and tons of money into the band. And today, even for DIY bands, I find that a lot of bands that are trying to do everything on their own, they rely entirely too much on social media. You have to get out, put your product, especially for rock musicians, you have to put your product in people's faces. You have to go to them. Because social media, all platforms are so flooded with a lot of DIY bands trying to do the same thing. You know, so I think social media in general, to an extent, has made artists and bands and musicians just a little lazy. You know, they put a flyer up on Facebook and that's it, or Twitter or Instagram. And if there's a bad turnout, oh, well, nobody showed up to my show.
Right.
Did you go out and promote the show? You know, simple as that.
Right.
You know, so that's my take on it.
I agree with that 100%. And, you know, it's tough. It's tough because you're also on a limited budget. I mean,
right. But there's so many ways, you know, and it's a process of trial and error. You know, there's so many ways to do things that cost hardly any money.
Right.
You know, and that's
like
the
this,
thing.
like this, making a
Exactly.
making a trip, getting a few shows along the way to pay the bills,
Yeah.
and getting your name out
Right.
to every radio station that allows it to happen.
Well, even on a
Absolutely.
local standpoint, you know, I mean, it does cost money to travel, and we have
Right.
to eat and, you know, lodging and all that stuff. But if you can afford to do it, you know, people don't understand. You're gonna have to spend money in some way, shape, or form to at least get some sort of recognition to get going. You know, but if you're starting from the ground up and you're trying to build your fan base from home outward, it would take $20 to make quarter-page flyers, and you just plaster them all over the place.
Right.
You know, and we did that stuff in the mid to late '90s. It's guerrilla marketing. It's tried and tested. It's worked then. It'll work now.
Yeah.
It's just a different day and age.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they still make telephone poles.
Exactly. And they still make the people that rip them down. But hey, you go back and you put it back up. It's just, you know.
Or you the one that rips it down, keeps it in your car, and then goes that night.
That's right.
Hey, we're talking to the band Modern Mimes, and they are in the area for some events coming up, and hopefully we'll get them back here in the future to one of our events that are coming up. I will say, you mentioned obviously the record labels. You have a nice record label in Curtain Call Records.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Absolutely.
They've done a great job.
They sure have.
And they're
Yeah,
grassroots,
absolutely.
aren't they? They're from the bottom up working.
Oh,
for
and they're
everybody.
still working,
Yeah.
man. You know, I just got off the phone with them not too long ago. I asked them what they were doing. He's like, "We're working." I'm like, "Awesome. So are we."
You know,
Even that's rare. You know, that we have a label like that. You know.
Yeah.
when you have that, does that give you more motivation to go out and do your best? I mean, because you have some
For
support.
sure.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of bands they think that just because they get signed to an indie label or any label that they're just gonna that stuff's gonna happen overnight, or it's just gonna be you know, they're not gonna have to do the work. But it's actually the other way around. You have to do more work. You know what I mean? You have to get out there, and you have to basically show them why they want to work with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Right.
And one more thing I wanted to touch on, you know, if an artist or a band's primary goal is to get rich, you have failed. Period. You have already failed.
I think for every band that I've had here, no band has ever said they're looking to get rich. They're doing it because they love to do it.
That's why you
That's
have
great.
to do it.
I mean,
That's
so
right.
Passion first. And, you know, and I was told by a guy named Jeffrey Levinson, he's a veteran in the industry. Jeff told me, and this is the way he put it to us, or one of my older bands. Okay, so you do it for the passion first. For you to be able to make a living or make money on it is the reward for your hard work. You know, so that's the way I've always looked at it.
and there's a lot of sacrifice. There is. You guys maybe are lucky because you have each other on the road.
Yes.
But there's a lot of musicians that their spouse, their kids, they don't get to go with.
Right.
And it's demanding, and it makes or breaks marriages,
That is right.
relationships, families.
That's right.
Even bands, because they have to break up because of it. It's
Right.
not an easy business. Is it?
No, it's not.
No.
It's really not an easy business.
It's challenging. And
So, like, you know, like we said earlier, you have to love what you're doing.
yeah, and there's definitely a lot of sacrifices that go into it. I mean, and Justin, you know, Justin
I'm
has
married
his family.
with 3 kids, and my wife's extremely supportive.
Yeah.
Extremely supportive. She's the one that actually pushed me to do this with them, because my previous project went south very fast, and I was ready to throw the towel in, man. You know, and she said, "Look, just give it a shot. If you truly don't want to do it after this, I'll support you 100%. If you want to do it, I support you 100%."
Yeah,
So
that's tough stuff though. So
it's tough.
and you got to find the right person for that.
Right, and she's awesome. She's great.
Yeah.
because it's. All right, I know you guys have another song for us, and I guess it's a treat for us because it's something that we haven't heard before, and you want to do acoustic. So can you give us a little details of what you're going to do here?
Yeah, so we're going to do The Gray, which is off of our latest album entitled The Gray. And yeah, this song is one of my favorite songs off of the album. It's a little bit of a darker tone, but it's a little upbeat as well. So I hope that you guys like it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this one.
Was it a dream?
Kind of. It's kind of about the end of the world, and just not just about the end of the world, but appreciating the time that we have here on this planet because we don't know how long we'll be here.
Awesome. All right. Once again, another acoustic song from our friends from Modern Mimes. This song is The Gray.
Are you ready?
We must remember, we must remember, we won't be here forever. We must remember, we must remember, we won't be here forever. This 9 to 5, so strong with strife, we're cornered in the perils of this life. We live, we die, seize and destroy. The day will come, no longer to return. We must remember, we must remember, we won't be here forever. We must remember, we must remember, we won't be here forever. Does everybody, anybody ever question why deception thrives? 'Cause we're lost in doing what the devil likes, losing control, blinded by the hope that it becomes so easy and natural to swallow, like drinking the devil's venom from the bottle. We must remember, we must remember, we won't be here forever. We must remember, we must remember, we won't be here forever. There's a war we don't see in the great mirror there. Now these we must return, we must we must remember, we must return, we must remember, we must return, we must remember. Well, there's a war, yeah, we don't see, no, in the gray, oh, mirror, mirror of enemies. Well, there's a war, yeah, we don't see, no, in the gray, oh, we must remember, we must remember, we won't be here forever. We must remember, we must remember, we won't be here forever.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
You guys, I know we've talked about the acoustic thing. You haven't done much of that. Have you thought about maybe doing when you're doing a full show, just stop with the full show and do an acoustic song or two?
Yeah, you know what? Believe it or not, we do have a song on the album, The Gray, called Crosses, and that's actually a full-on acoustic song. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely an option.
Because I was going to say, you guys sound really good together.
Thank you.
Especially if you just started doing this here.
We did, pretty much did, yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much played the Gray acoustically, like practicing wise, I think 3 times
Yeah.
before doing this.
There's funny documentation, by the way, on Facebook of the practice sessions from that.
Oh, there is.
Yes,
Okay.
there is, and you
Okay.
will find it hilarious.
Well, unfortunately, we're getting close to that time. We got to end, so maybe we should mention about how people can find out more about Modern Mimes, and Facebook is probably one of the big ways.
Yep. Just facebook.com/Modern Mimes Music. You can find us on modernmimes.com, on Spotify, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. And if you want, you can just Google Modern Mimes, and we're all over the place.
That sounds cool. Final comments, I guess, for you guys. What would you like to say before you head on out and on down to Mankato?
Well, first off, I want to thank you, sir, for supporting us for quite some time now. We really appreciate that, and we've had such a blast here at the station with you. So thanks again so much for having us, man.
Absolutely.
I would say don't give in to mind lies, and thank you for having us.
Awesome. And Justin?
Friday night, March 6th at the What's Up Lounge in Mankato.
That's right.
And anything but human.
Yep, absolutely. And then on the 7th, you're over in Eau Claire,
Eau
too,
Claire.
and
Night
hopefully
for the fun.
we'll have you back sometime in the future.
We'd love to be back,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That would be great. Once again, it was a lot of fun talking to Ernesto, Justin, and Audie. The band is Modern Mimes, and we're going to play your current top 20 song, that being Stare. It's on The Dark. It's on